The bleach hit my paintings with a sound I'll never forget, like rain on a hot sidewalk. Except it was the sound of 5 years of my life dissolving. I watched in frozen horror as the chemical spread across my canvases, eating through oil paint, destroying layers of work, erasing the exhibition that was supposed to change my life. Amateur trash, my brother's girlfriend Vanessa screamed, wielding the industrial-sized bleach bottle like a weapon, splashing it wildly across the gallery walls. This isn't art. It's pathetic, just like you, Maya. The Riverside Gallery was packed for my first solo exhibition. 37 pieces representing my journey from homeless teenager to emerging artist. Each painting told a story of survival, of nights spent in shelters, of finding beauty in broken places, and now they were melting, running down the walls in chemical streams. What Vanessa didn't know, what her rage had blinded her to, was the small tripod in the corner with gallery director Sarah Ming's phone mounted on it, broadcasting live to Instagram. The red recording light blinked steadily as 50,000 viewers watched my life's work being destroyed in real time. "Someone stop her," a voice called out, but everyone seemed frozen, whether from shock or fear of the bleach still flying from the bottle. I finally found my voice. "Vanessa, please, stop." She whirled on me, her designer dress now splattered with bleach stains. "You think you're so special? Josh can't shut up about his talented sister, his genius sister, his sister who's going to be famous. What about me? I'm the one with a degree from Parsons. I'm the one who should be having exhibitions." Josh, my older brother, my protector, my biggest supporter, stood in the doorway, his face white with shock. He'd gone to get champagne from his car for the toast. He'd been gone for 3 minutes. 3 minutes was all it took for his girlfriend to destroy everything. "Vanessa," he dropped the champagne, bottle shattering on the gallery floor. "What have you done?" "I did what someone should have done years ago," she screamed. "Shown everyone that your sister is a fraud. Look at this garbage. Street scenes? Homeless people? This isn't art, it's poverty porn." Sarah Ming stepped forward carefully, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Ma'am, you need to put down the bleach. What you're doing is a crime. You're destroying hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of art." "Hundreds of thousands?" Vanessa laughed maniacally. "For this?" The large piece you just destroyed was already sold for $75,000. Sarah said calmly. "The buyer is watching this livestream right now." Vanessa's face went pale, but she didn't drop the bottle. Instead, she turned to the painting that meant the most to me, a portrait of my grandmother, the woman who'd raised me after my parents died, who'd lived just long enough to see me get into art school. It was the only painting I'd never sell. "No," I whispered, moving toward her. "Please, not that one." She smiled then, cruel and satisfied, and threw the remaining bleach directly at my grandmother's portrait. The scream that tore from my throat wasn't human. I lunged forward, trying to shield the painting with my body, but the bleach had already hit. I watched my grandmother's painted eyes disappear, her smile melting away, the careful brushstrokes I'd spent 6 months perfecting dissolving into nothing. That's when someone finally acted. A man I didn't recognize tackled Vanessa from behind, knocking the empty bottle from her hands. Security rushed in, too late, always too late, and restrained her. "I want her arrested," she was screaming. "She attacked me. You all saw it. She's jealous because Josh loves me more than her." "Ma'am," one of the security guards said, "you just destroyed an art exhibition, on live stream, to 50,000 witnesses." Sarah Ming was at my side, pulling me away from the ruined portrait. "Maya, breathe. Look at me, breathe." But I couldn't breathe. I was watching 5 years of work drip onto the floor. Every late night, every skipped meal to afford paint, every rejection before Sarah finally gave me a chance, all of it was gone. "Ladies and gentlemen," Sarah addressed the shocked crowd while still holding me, "please give us some space. The exhibition is obviously cancelled. We'll be in touch with anyone who had purchases pending." "Wait." A woman stepped forward from the crowd. I recognized her from her photos. Dr. Elizabeth Morrison, senior curator at the Modern Art Museum. The woman who was supposed to change my life tonight with an offer for a permanent collection spot. "I'd like to say something." She walked to where Sarah's phone was still streaming, addressing the camera directly. "I'm Dr. Elizabeth Morrison, curator at MAM. I came here tonight to offer Mayachin a spot in our permanent collection. What I've just witnessed isn't the destruction of art, it's the birth of something more powerful." She turned to face the crowd, then the camera again. "Art isn't just what hangs on walls. It's the story, the struggle, the artist's journey." Maya's work depicted survival and resilience. What we've just witnessed is her living that truth. The woman who destroyed these paintings has actually created something she never intended, proof that art matters, that it provokes, that it has power. She looked directly at me. Maya, every piece that was destroyed tonight will be recreated, not by you, you'll create new work, but by forensic art restoration specialists who will use the livestream to rebuild what was lost. And both versions, the destroyed originals and your new work, will be displayed at MAM. This isn't the end of your story, it's the chapter that makes you legendary. Vanessa started laughing hysterically. You're going to reward her for this? This garbage? Josh finally found his voice. Vanessa, you just committed a felony. On livestream, you destroyed hundreds of thousands of dollars in art because you were jealous. Jealous? Of her? She's nobody, a foster kid who got lucky. She's my sister, Josh said quietly, and she's more talented in her little finger than you'll ever be. The police arrived then, taking statements. Watching the livestream replay, Vanessa was arrested for felony vandalism, destruction of property over $100,000, and assault with a caustic chemical. The last charge was added when they realized I had chemical burns on my hands from trying to save my grandmother's portrait. As they led her away, she screamed at Josh, "You're choosing her over me?" "I'm choosing the person who didn't destroy my sister's life work out of jealousy," he replied coldly. "We're done, Vanessa. Your stuff will be outside my apartment by morning." The crowd slowly dispersed, but not before many of them approached me with business cards, offers of support, and promises to share the story. The livestream had gone viral while we were still standing there. #Justice for Maya was trending. Artists around the world were posting their own work in solidarity. Sarah Ming surveyed the destroyed gallery, then turned to me. "Insurance will cover the full value. Every piece was documented and appraised. You'll be compensated." "It's not about the money," I whispered, staring at the spot where my grandmother's portrait had hung. That painting, it was all I had left of her. Actually, a young man stepped forward, holding a professional camera. "I was photographing the exhibition for Art Week magazine. I have high-resolution images of every piece, including your grandmother's portrait, every brushstroke, every detail. They're yours." Dr. Morrison pulled out her phone, showing me the Instagram live replay. "Maya, look at the comments. Thousands of them, scrolling too fast to read. This is heartbreaking, but she's going to come back stronger, buying whatever Maya creates next. The girlfriend just made Maya famous worldwide. This is why art matters. Team Maya forever." "Someone start a GoFundMe now." "There's already a GoFundMe," Sarah said, checking her phone. "It's at $200,000 and climbing. People want to support you." Josh knelt beside me, tears streaming down his face. "Maya, I'm so sorry. I had no idea she was capable of this. She seemed supportive of your art." "She called it amateur trash," I said numbly. "She was wrong. She was jealous. You're brilliant, and she couldn't stand that I was proud of you." Dr. Morrison's phone rang. She answered, her eyes widening. "Yes, she's here. Yes, I'll tell her." She hung up and turned to me. "That was the Guggenheim. They want to acquire your story, the destroyed works, the documentation, the recreation process, everything. They're calling it Destruction and Rebirth, the Mayachin story. But there's nothing left to acquire," I said. "That's where you're wrong," she said. "The Bleach damaged canvases are now part of the story. They're artifacts of an attack on art itself, combined with the livestream, the restoration process, and the new works you'll create in response. This is bigger than an exhibition. This is art history happening in real time." A woman approached with a tablet. "Maya, I'm Detective Rivera. We need you to watch the livestream to verify events for the prosecution." I watched my exhibition die again on the small screen, but this time, I noticed things I'd missed in the moment. The way people had gasped when they realized what was happening. The way strangers had moved to protect other paintings. The way Josh had looked when he walked in, not just shocked, but heartbroken for me. "She planned this," Detective Rivera said. "We found searches on her phone about bleach and canvas, about how to destroy oil paintings. This was premeditated." "Why?" I asked. "Why would she plan this?" Josh answered quietly. "She applied to show here last month. Sarah rejected her portfolio." Sarah's head snapped up. "Vanessa Morse? The one who sent those derivative fashion photographs?" "That's her," Josh confirmed. "She didn't tell me she'd been rejected. She said she was too good for a small gallery. So she destroyed my exhibition because she couldn't have one?" "Jealousy makes people do terrible things," Detective Rivera said. "But in this case, it's going to cost her. With the value of the destroyed works and the premeditation, she's looking at serious prison time." The next few days were a blur. The story went international. Major news outlets picked it up. The security footage and livestream were played countless times. Art critics wrote pieces about the performance art of the destruction, even though it wasn't intended as such. Vanessa, from her jail cell awaiting bail hearing, tried to claim it was performance art, that she'd been making a statement about privilege in the art world. No one believed her, especially after her jealous rants were broadcast to millions. The GoFundMe reached $500,000. Artists sent me supplies, canvases, offers of studio space. The photographs of my destroyed works were published in a memorial catalog that sold out in hours. But the most unexpected response came from other artists who'd been sabotaged by jealous partners, friends, or family members. They shared their stories, their destroyed works, their journeys back to creation. We became an accidental community, bonded by loss and resurrection. 3 months later, I stood in the Modern Art Museum at the opening of Destruction and Rebirth. The destroyed canvases were displayed in specialized cases, the bleach damage preserved behind protective glass. Next to each ruined piece hung a monitor playing the livestream of its destruction, and beside that, my new interpretation of the same subject. The centerpiece was my grandmother's portrait. The destroyed version looked like a ghost, her face eaten away by chemicals, only hints of what had been. The new version was larger, bolder, painted with a fury and love I hadn't known I possessed. But the most powerful element was the third piece, a collaboration with the forensic restoration team, showing the old painting emerging from the destroyed canvas, like a phoenix from ashes. Vanessa had pled guilty to avoid trial, 3 years in prison, plus restitution I'd never see. Josh hadn't spoken to her since that night. He stood beside me now at the opening, still apologizing months later. "Stop," I told him, "you didn't do this. I brought her into your life. And she brought me here." I gestured to the packed museum. "Look around, Josh, would any of this have happened without that night?" Dr. Morrison approached with a couple who looked familiar from art magazines, mega collectors known for their contemporary art collection. "Maya," Dr. Morrison said, "I'd like you to meet the Hamiltons. They'd just acquired the entire Destruction series for their foundation." "Including the grandmother portrait?" I asked, my heart sinking. "I'd hoped to keep that one." "Mrs. Hamilton smiled. "All except that one. That stays with you. But we'd like to commission a companion piece, your grandmother as you imagine her now, watching your success. She'd be horrified." I laughed through sudden tears. "She hated attention. But she'd be proud," Josh added, "so proud." The exhibition was a massive success. Every piece sold. Museums competed for future works. I went from unknown artist to art world sensation, the woman whose work was so powerful it drove someone to destroy it. But late at night, in my new studio, funded by the GoFundMe, I sometimes thought about the original paintings. They're gone forever. Despite the reproductions and restorations, those specific brushstrokes, made during specific moments of my life, can't be recreated. Vanessa took those from me, but she also gave me something, proof that art matters, that it can drive people to extreme actions, that creation and destruction are two sides of the same passionate response to beauty. I'm painting my grandmother again now. In this one, she's standing in the gallery, watching Vanessa destroy the first portrait, but she's smiling, because she knows what I know now, that sometimes destruction is just transformation waiting to reveal itself. The painting is called Thank You, Vanessa. She'll hate that when she gets out of prison and sees it in the permanent collection of the Modern Art Museum. But then again, she already hates that I became everything she wanted to be, not despite her destruction, but because of it. The bleach stains on the gallery floor are still there. Sarah Ming refused to remove them. She says they're part of history now. Tour groups stopped to see them, to hear the story of the night jealousy turned to rage, rage turned to art, and art turned to triumph. And every time I walk past those stains, I remember the sound of bleach hitting canvas, the smell of chemicals eating paint, the sight of my grandmother's face disappearing. But mostly, I remember the 50,000 strangers who watched it happen and said, "This matters, she matters, art matters. That's worth more than any painting. Even mine."